So Hillary really did us a favor by being in the debate last night, and then the guys, I guess, kind of did us a favor by sort of ganging up on her, right? Do you share the opinion they ganged up on her?
Well, she's a big girl. She can take care of it.
You know better than anyone.
I mean, one of the most fascinating things to me was that that they started right out talking about the library, which is something that I encountered in the course of my research. I went down there sort of merrily, having been to lots of presidential libraries, and
expecting the door to open for you, right?
And walked in there in March of 2005, and it was empty. I mean, there wasn't anything on the shelf. There were these kind of poor archivists walking around wearing blue smocks and with nothing much to do. And I talked to them, and they said, "Well," and I said, "Gosh, I'd love to see the memos that went back and forth between Hillary and Bill on welfare policy, and how did they come to those decisions?" And he said, "No, I'm sorry, that's that's policy. You can't have that." And I said, "Well, what about all the speeches that he wrote for her 2000 campaign and how they went back and forth?" And he said, "No, I'm sorry, that's political. You can't have that." And so it turned out, obviously, that on President Clinton's order, virtually everything that had to do with policy and politics and anything personal, obviously, is now off bounds, and maybe for a very long time, certainly anything having to do with her. So, happily, having written about the dynamics of this incredible couple over those 8 years, this is what we're going to get. If you want to understand how this really kind of complicated and unique political partnership works and how it could possibly play out in a Clinton restoration, this is the roadmap for it, because I talked to like 160 people, very smart people, very perceptive people.
You talked to lots and lots of people, but you didn't talk to them.
No, I did not.
And did you want to?
Sure, there are lots of things I would have loved to have asked them, but they kind of said to the extent that they ever want to talk about their complicated relationship, they addressed it in rather elliptical terms in their own books. They haven't wanted to say much beyond that. But it is the most fascinating topic you could imagine. It certainly kept me riveted for 3 years.
The debate last night, what I thought was interesting, and I wonder what your thoughts are on this, knowing her now as well as you do, when the camera was on her, when she was being attacked, to the extent that she was attacked, I really don't think it was that ferocious.
No, I don't either.
It's going to get a lot worse if she gets the nomination. But I thought that her face said a lot, because there was a lot of the Hillary you wrote about.
Yeah.
It was a rather cold and severe expression on her face. Did you notice that?
I did notice that. I mean, she is a very self-contained person, and she did say when she was in college, "Unthinking emotion is pitiful to me," and she's someone who has really tried to keep her emotions very, very much under control.
But she doesn't hide them.
No, she doesn't hide them. She can put on a game face.
Was that a game face? It was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell
she did not look happy with being attacked.
She did not look happy, and she's had kind of a free ride up until now. But she certainly, during those 8 years in the White House, didn't hesitate to express her emotion, particularly to Bill's staff.
Yeah, right. Well, no, and you covered that well. Do you think that Bill Richardson may have done himself in a little bit last night, though, by acting like she needed one of the men to
protector?
That she needed protection?
I think a little bit. I guess, maybe he's running for vice president, although...
I don't even know if you'd want that as a vice president.
I don't know. I mean, that's a whole aspect of... That's kind of one of that's sort of at the center of this book, which is we're facing the possibility, really unprecedented in our history, of having two presidents in the White House, not only two presidents in the White House, but who are married to each other. And so with all the implications that brings along with it, all the cross currents in their relationship, and we can see certainly how they played out with the roles reversed last time, and they would be magnified. I mean, imagine the poor vice president.
Well, it reminds me of one of your other books, Diana, and something Diana famously said when describing her marriage to Prince Charles, there were three of us in this marriage, and I think of that actually when I think about Al Gore.
Right.
There, and that would obviously be the case.
There was three forces to be reckoned with, and it was a story that
And
nobody.
he was a serious number three.
He was number three. I mean, look, he had a big portfolio of responsibilities, and he was really the most, one of the most effective vice presidents in dealing with all those things. But the fact was that there was a rivalry between Hillary and Al Gore that began even before the inauguration.
Right.
And when Bill Clinton was asked who he wanted in the room when he had to make a big decision, he said Hillary, not Al Gore. And Mickey Cantor, talked about it, and another friend said that they were, like a brother and a sister trying to win the affection not of a father, but of a more powerful older brother.
Right.
And in meetings, Al Gore would have recommended something to Bill Clinton, and she would say, "No, you don't have to listen to that. This is your administration.
And
you
rather
make the decision."
forcefully too. I mean, she
Rather
was never
forcefully.
shy about asserting
No.
herself, which I think is one of the points that you make in your book that comes across very, very clearly, especially in those first months of the first term, when I don't think that I'm underplaying it if I said that this was a White House that was overrun with chaos, mismanagement, mayhem, no real leadership, but Hillary was in charge.